What's up, everybody? Stephen A. Smith here. On vacation. Going to be out of pocket for a few days, but I saw something that I wanted to respond to with regards to Draymond Green and Jemele Hill. Take a listen.
I've had my words with Stephen A. Listen, he's great at what he does. I think, he's arguably the best at what he does, right? And that's your lane, respect, cool. But I also think where the line gets blurred in a negative way for journalists is he throws out the journalist tag all the time. I am actually a journalist, this, that, and other. But to your point, there isn't the going in the locker room. There isn't the, he comes in the arena. You really don't get next to him. You don't see him. And so, you
talk to people, but it's not the same.
Exactly. And so
right.
you say all of these things on television. Jaylen Brown has been very outspoken about it, the anonymous sources and all of these things, right? Like, you say all of these things on television, and then you throw out the word journalist, which almost makes people, especially athletes, not respect journalists, because you're throwing out the journalist tag and then you're doing that, and and people don't respect it, and there's no accountability, right? So, the first thing you just said was, I write a column, I show up the next day to stand in your face to see what you're going to say. If you need to say something, if you feel like we should, but when that term is thrown out now, no one's given that same opportunity. People spew all these things out there, and you're not given the opportunity to go face to face. And when you do, a la LeBron James, then it's this whole thing of like, oh my God, I had an opinion, and now they're not happy about my opinion, so they come to my. And so I don't think it's approached with that same integrity that you're speaking about, which ultimately, I think it leaves all journalists in a bad spot because you're not technically viewed as what you just said a journalist is.
I'm not going to say anything on TV I can't say to your face. So if I say on TV, not you personally, but if I say on TV, hey, you flop. Yo, when I see you, I'll be like, yeah, I said you flopped.
What you laughing about, Jemele Hill? Somebody that's not in the locker room? Are you implying that you've been in the locker room more than me in my career? Is that the implication here, Jemele Hill? I beg to differ. I was a beat writer and an NBA columnist for 15 years. You just gonna sit up there and listen to Draymond Green and forget the fact that I was a beat writer, high school, colleges, pros, for the first 20 years of my career? And that I earned the right graduating through every step of this industry before I became a general sports columnist to not have to be in the locker room all the time? You just gonna let him say that? And there's no course correction whatsoever about the industry and the fact that my position was earned? Now let me get to you, Draymond. Ladies and gentlemen, before I say anything, you will never hear me say a disrespectful word about Draymond Green. I love the brother. I think he's a good dude. Draymond, where you gonna stop dancing around issues involving me and tell him what's up? You and I were pretty tight. And then after the choking incident with Rudy Gobert and the slap to Jusuf Nurkic, I upset you because I called you and said it was difficult to defend you. I'm not saying anything out of pocket or personal because this is what you said to Shaq on his podcast. So it was already public information. It's the only reason I'm revealing it. I'm not saying anything else about any of our conversations throughout the years, my brother. We've never talked since that time. But can you at least acknowledge to the people while you're talking publicly, if we're keeping it a buck, that when you went on Shaq's podcast and you said that that's the first time I knew you were upset at me. I didn't even know. You never called me and had a conversation man to man. I never knew you were upset. All of a sudden, we stopped talking. Prior to that, I didn't have to be in the Golden State locker room at that time to talk to you. As is the case with me and a whole bunch of players y'all will never know about, because a lot of players don't reveal that they speak to me. Nor do coaches, nor do executives. Because if you reveal that it's like that, how would I give access to the information I get access to? I've had coaches go into press conferences and call me out, and they were the ones that gave me the damn information. When you have sources, you protect sources. You don't know that, Jemele Hill? You've been an outstanding reporter for years. How many sources do you have? Care to tell us who? You want to listen to Jaylen Brown and want to think that's okay? All right, state your source, state your source. You gonna do that? Of course you're not. Because you know. But you're talking to Draymond and you're sitting there talking like he's got a point. Draymond, respectfully, you don't have a point. I wish y'all nothing but the best. It's just sad that these conversations devolve to this. But just like you gonna go on with your life trying to win championships, I'm gonna go on with mine, trying to have the top rated show. Good luck, Jemele. Good luck, Draymond. Peace and love. Catch y'all later.